I've been listening to a lot of music this weekend. A lot of new music dropped. Charlie XCX dropped, and a few other bops I'm gonna mention right now dropped. But the one I want to mention that I was unfortunately a little bit disappointed with, I have to be honest. I was a little bit disappointed in this particular album. I was looking forward to it. I did have high hopes, but unfortunately it did not meet my expectations. And that is Peggy Goo, I Hear You. I've covered Peggy Goo for a long time on this podcast, the good and the bad and the ugly. And at the center of it, at the core of it, I have to be honest, I've always appreciated the music. As a person, she doesn't seem to be the nicest, but again, do I really care about that if I'm never going to meet her? We're never going to be friends anyway. So even if she is a bit of a bitch to people in real life, it's not really my concern. I would much rather just listen to the music. The music I feel like she's really good at. When it comes to DJing, I think she's really good as well. I don't think she's amazing, but I think she's a lot better than people try to make out. And I think the productions are really good also. But I have to be honest, over the last few years, the production quality has kind of waned. I've been thinking, who's really making these songs? Or is she just kind of just, sometimes you just get lucky and you make a song like what's it called? It Goes, Itangu, or however you pronounce that flipping tune. And sometimes it just works out for you in a way where it just works out for you. Yeah, it's just one of those things. So you think of what's her big track she's got at the moment. I don't know why they put all her top songs as one on the album. That's not true. So you think of things like Starry Night, you think of I Go, maybe not I Go actually. I Go's not a new one. It's a new one. You think of something like what am I thinking of here? I think I basically just mentioned it, right? Starry Night. Starry Night is the main one that I kind of have known her for, and of course and it makes you forget. So those two, you kind of think about it, oh damn, this woman can produce. You see her playing instruments in her house and stuff, amazing, phenomenal. And I've always said, and I've always appreciated her professionalism. She plays Starry Night. She plays It Makes You Forget. She plays what's that remix that she did? What's that remix? She did an incredible remix. Dun 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 dun. What's that one called again? With a robot as the cover image. I'm forgetting it now, but I'm probably gonna blur it up on the screen once I do the little edit of my little pod here. But whatever that song is, she smashes it, right? So this particular album, I did have predictions. I was predicting it'd be a lot more of a range. I was predicting there'll be a lot more vocals. I'm predicting she's gonna try different genres as in a range, and I predicted a lot of vocals because I had a feeling that she was probably getting a bit bored of being a DJ and wanting to move more towards being an artist in terms of holding a mic, singing, maybe behind the decks, maybe just on stage with just a mic stand and shit, whatever. But I got the feeling she's going to try and make that transition. Cool. The album comes, I Hear You, and it's exactly as I expected. Loads of break beats, probably a little bit too much break beats, not much variety. It kind of oscillates between like house, deep house, and break beats for lack of a better term, maybe drum and bass inspired tunes, but anything within that sort of meld. And it's only 10 tracks long, 40 minutes, which is a good thing because a lot of albums sometimes are just filled with filler. But I think, unfortunately, this album isn't good enough for 10 tracks. There's not enough punch in it. Sometimes that's the negative of having a short album. If the album's only 10 tracks and the tracks aren't good, it can sometimes feel like it's missing something. But when there's 10 tracks of fire, you can sometimes you walk away thinking, oh my god, I wish I had more. So I think there's not enough hits, there's not enough punch, there's not enough action, there's just not enough there on the track itself. I think it starts off terribly, personally for me. It starts off terribly. She starts off with this track called Your Art, which feels like some sort of like motivational quote message thing, but I'm assuming she did that in a way of like trying to get you in the mood of the album, to try and center you, close your eyes, forget everything, focus on the art, how you express yourself, blah 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 blah. But it didn't hit for me. It didn't hit. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of put me off listening to her speak. No, no offense or anything. The lyrics goes, create your own view, your universe. You're after image, your artwork. Create your own image. You're standing on, walking on right now and all the time. Look around, look up, look down. What do you see? What do you feel? We have colonized, industrialized, modernized. We have forgotten self-respect and listened to ourselves. Mindful of this, let's make the artwork again. Let's make the artwork again. Create your universe and be present. Of course, I've butchered that and I've made it sound horrible, but I implore you, it doesn't sound that far off. I know I butchered it. I know I sound horrible and I'm spitting everywhere, stuttering everywhere, but I do emphasize that it just sounds not too far off from what she actually did. It took me out of the thing and I didn't really like the intro. Then you move into track 2. Maybe not my favorite. Track 2 was okay, I think, as a kind of, as an intro, but again, not my fave. Track 3 with Lenny Kravitz, I Believe in Love Again, complete skip. Although sonically, when it starts, it does sound better in sequence, but still skip all the way. All That featuring Villano Antiliano, decent enough. It Goes Na Na Na, again skip. I hate that song, but it did sound a lot better in the album as sequenced. Lobster Telephone, I feel like is her best, one of the best songs on the album. It's no surprise she picked as a single before it dropped. Lobster Telephone's amazing. There's a breakdown just within like the middle of the track that I probably, if I end up DJing it and putting it in a mix, I'll loop that for 12 minutes straight. Legit, it's fucking incredible. It's magical almost. That little breakdown just in the middle. Ooh, fucking special. But one of my undercover favorite tracks on this is this track number 7, called Soul C Peggy Goo. Yo, it's like a weird mix of like, it's basically drum and bass, break beats, but it's got a tinge of whatever. She's Korean, right? Whatever Korean instruments. I'm gonna say something like, I would say Southeast Asia. I'm not sure if it's Southeast or Far East Asia, wherever she's from, that region. But let's say South Korean instrumentation on top of it, and with the breakbeats going on. Yo, it sounds so fucking good. That shit's gonna get you fucking turned. It's gonna get you amped. It's gonna get you going crazy. That is a track. That is a standout track, I think. Silosi Peggy Goo legit might be one of my standout tracks, even ahead of probably Lobster Telephone. I'm not gonna lie, it's a banger, fucking banger. Then there's a track called I Go. Again, she loves the goes, isn't it? It goes, I go. She loves the thing about going. Not really one of my favorites, to be fair. Purple Horizon's pretty good, and then 1 + 1 = 11. Again, not my favorite either. So a lot of misses on this album. I'm not gonna lie. Another criticism I'd probably say: too many vocals. I think there's too many vocals on this. I think my prediction was right. She is, I feel like, trying to be more of an artist, but I think with that, you're trying to do something that I don't think she can do, which is, vocalize things. It just doesn't sound that great. In my personal opinion, her voice doesn't sound too good. So maybe get somebody else to sort of do the vocals, or just put together, like, I'm curious to know, I'm curious to think, I'm curious to see how this album would sound if they were all instrumentals. Apart from, like, It Goes, let's say, I'm actually, fuck it. Let's just do the whole thing as an instrumental. I wonder how that would sound. I bet it would sound pretty decent. So maybe that is actually the reason. Maybe the voices kind of threw me off. Even to start your art, maybe have that kind of droning sound at the beginning of the Just Be What It Is. So it sort of like introduces you to the album and kind of walks you through, and then let the tracks hit as they are, but without any vocals whatsoever. Just maybe the ad libs on only. I think that might be beneficial. But with the vocals horrendous, none of it really makes sense. I'm still I don't know. I think that if I'm not mistaken, didn't that I Go track come out in like 2021? What's happening then? Is that lack of work ethic or something? Is that laziness? Why would you put a track on an album that came out 3 years ago? It feels like it came out 3 years ago, didn't it? I Go in like 2021, 2022 or something. So that's an old track. Even It Goes. No. When did that come out? Did that not come out at the beginning of the year? Last year? Let's actually check my actual thing here. Singles. Oh yeah, it came out 2023. But maybe this is like a dance music thing. Maybe that's a thing, but I don't know. I don't think this needs to exist. That's the plain honest truth of it. This could have been done as an EP, maybe with some of the stronger tracks on the B side or something. Maybe some of the other, maybe with 4 or 3 other tracks on the B side apart from the singles. But all in all, not the best debut album. I'm not gonna lie, not the best debut album. But then you also have to question the fact that does she even need to put out an album anyway? Why even put out an album? You probably don't need to put out one if you're Peggy Goo. You can keep putting out EPs and shit, and people will still lap it up. Singles, EP, singles, EP. You don't really need to put out an album if you're Peggy Goo, I would say, because a lot of your fans like your singles. They love to see you play when you DJ live. I don't really think they're clamoring for an album, really, to be honest. You might jump on a couple features here or there. You might do a little collaborative project, but do we need to hear an album from her right now? I don't really think so. Personally, I would say. But again, if you like breakbeats, if you like housey inspired type stuff, I recommend you check it out. There are some good tracks on there, but overall a bit disappointing. Overall a little bit disappointing.